Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the official one and only Smite Super Builds. Today we have Hercules with us. Now I first want to quickly go into his abilities and how they matter to building Hercules for the newer players to Smite and or to Hercules. So there are 2 points that I did want to make. The one point is that he does make a really good use out of physical power items. Let's pick up Warrior Tabby real quick. Alright, so we have a total of 40 physical power and we can see how that translates to his abilities. 90% of his physical power going to his 1, 50% is 2, and 100% of his total physical power goes into additional damage for his ultimate. So overall, he gets the majority of his damage from his abilities, and therefore we want to build some physical power if we're looking to do damage. Now, the second point I did want to make is that his cooldowns are kind of lengthy, so we could look forward to building some type of cooldown reduction item, whether it's Yone's Wrath or Spear Robe or Winning the Blade, or you probably want to have some type of cooldown reduction. Otherwise, you use all your abilities, your full rotation, you're just kind of walking around, just soaking up damage and just being, awkward, waiting 14 seconds so you can use your 1 again. So, yeah, definitely want to have some type of cooldown reduction item. Now, let's get into actually building Hercules. Now, conquest-wise, there are a nice variety of starter ways you can build for Hercules. The first way for conquest, you can go into an actual starter item, whether it's Death's Toll or Bluestone Pendant, whichever is your favorite pick. Or you can go into an actual item. The first item, you can go into the Runeforge Hammer. Now, the reason why this would be is because it is a very cheap and efficient item to pick up. Now, of course, this is if you know you're going against another physical god in the solo lane. Hercules, warriors, typically in the solo lane. So if you know you're going against a physical god, this is a really great pickup, offering a lot of stats ranging from HP, physical protection, and also a really nice passive. Now, warriors, they traditionally have a nice physical protection scaling as they level up, so you can get a lot of usage out of the passive. Now, going to the other option that's fairly common is going into the Mystical Mail. Again, same point of, you're going against another physical god. Now, Mystical Mail, it's a little awkward of an item. For one, it is fairly expensive, so it can be a little lengthy as far as building wise, especially if you're not the most efficient as far as farming gold. But what this item offers is a lot of poke damage with the Ura. Now, the reason why you definitely want to get Mystical Mail in any situation somewhat early is because the 40 magical damage becomes less and less as the game continues. As the game continues, gods, they level up, and as they level up, they gain more more magical protection, and that way, the 40 damage becomes, 30, 20, things like that. But in the early phases of the game, you're going to get the maximum amount of damage output from the Ura, helps you clear minions, help you, again with the poke damage on your target, and things like that. Alright, so those are the several ways you can start building Hercules in Conquest. Now let's start with the boots as far as, traditional route of building. Boots of choice, definitely Warrior Tabby for obvious reasons. We're looking for physical power so we can do the max amount of damage from our abilities. Now, I mentioned earlier about cooldown reduction items. If you plan on picking up any cooldown reduction items, you definitely want to get it in the early phases of the game so you can get the maximum usage out of it. But before I continue, I just wanted to say that warriors as a whole, there are the most flexible role as far as building compared to any other role in Smite. This is just one build I'm going through, but as far as building warriors in general, it kind of goes down to 2 things. For one, personal playstyle, and also down to situational building. So just kind of keep those things in mind. You could build a pure tank warrior, you could build a bruiser warrior, or you could build a pure damage warrior. It's all up to you. This is just one build. Now let's pick up Yone's Wrath. Yone's Wrath is the best item for any physical god that gets the majority of their damage from their abilities. You get the cooldown reduction, mana to complement that, penetration, and physical power. Now, since we got a couple of our damage items out of the way, we probably want to go into some defensive items. Now, the first defensive item of choice is the Runeforge Hammer. Again, it's a very cheap and efficient item. We can go into this. Now, going into other protection items that you can pick up, you can go straight into the Spear Robe, but the problem with this is you have no HP from any of your first 3 items, which can get a little troublesome. But let's say you probably want to, wait and put that off till later on. We can go into other protection items. Like, let's say you're in an arena and you're the only frontliner on your team. You probably want to go with the Hot Word and Amulet combination, looking for it to be just really team supportive in the aura items or the aura passives that we have here and things like that. But for now, let's just stick with the Runeforge Hammer. So let's sell these. Let's go into the Runeforge Hammer. Now from here, you have a few options. Again, if you want to be just pure damage, you can go into the Titan's Bane at this point, maximizing your overall damage potential. Or we can continue going onto the Bruiser route. We can go into Frostbound Hammer. Offers a lot of stats for its money as well. Tons of HP, physical power, and a really great passive to help stick to targets by slowing their movement speed, and also a great counter to hunters and assassins alike, decreasing their attack speed by 15%. Really great pickup. Or if you don't want to go into that, you can go into Shifter Shield, which is a fairly good item, offering you both really high physical power, up to 60 physical power, as long as you're above your 50% health threshold. Or let's say if you go below that threshold, you get 20 extra protections to both physical and magical. So a really great bruiser item to pick up. Alright, so as far as magical protection is concerned, one great item for that is the Stone of Gaia, offering a lot of magical protection, but what it also offers is a lot of health regeneration, on top of what we already have with our mitigate wounds, which has a ton of regeneration. This offers even more with the passive, and also the plus 25 HP 5, that is health per 5 seconds. So let's just pick that up for now. Of course, we have other magical protection items that we can pick up, such as the Horde Amulet. You can pick this up, let's say if your support is behind and can't really afford it yet, you can pick this up, so that way you can help your team out with the aura effect. Or if you're fighting against healers, you can go to the Pestilence. Now let's finish up our build. We have, again, more situational items that we can pick up. For one, we can go and see the Magic's Blessing if the enemy team has a lot of crowd control effects that are just kind of preventing you from doing your rotation with your 2-in-1 combo. Or let's say you're going against a lot of hunters and assassins, things like that. You can go to the Midgardian Mail to help negate that out with a really great passive, slowing their movement speed and attack speed if they attack you. Or on the same topic, you can go into the Frostbound Hammer still. You can pick that up. Or you can go into other physical protection items, as far as you can go into the Spirit Robe, like we talked about earlier. You can go into that. Void Shield, not too popular, but it can work out if you have a couple ADCs with you and you're looking to maximize their damage. You can go into the Void Shield. Or if you're just looking to cap off your damage, you can end it with the Titan's Bane. Now, going into actives, active-wise, we have a few choices here. Now, of course, actives are just situational and personal preference. You can go into the Heavenly Agility, looking to help your team out by increasing their speed, and also make everybody immune to slows, as well as increasing healing done. Or you can go into the Cursing, looking for just into the slowing your enemies down, as far as you can also slow their attack speed and or healing. Or you can go into Blink. For Blink, we're just kind of looking to play like tier, as in, blink behind your target, turn around, and then push them into your team's side of the base. You can go into something like that. If you don't want to use your 2, or you want to save it for later, or let's say you're not really great at aiming it, but you're fairly good at tier, so you can just blink behind them and use your 1 to push them in. Alright, so going into the last few actives here, we have Salvation, looking to keep your team healthy in Assault. We have Shield of the Underworld, looking to be just a really annoying warrior, and really great to counter high burst mages and or assassins, hunters, guys like that. Being able to reflect 40% of all damage before mitigations, as well as your enemies cannot lifesteal from you. And of course we have Shell. Not too common, but the way this works out is when you go to make your push into the enemy team's base or something like that, it gives all your allies extra protections, as well as take reduced damage by 15%. And of course you have the Purification Bees, looking to just peel off any CCs on you so you can continue your initiation and things like that. So that's going to wrap it up for the build video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.